Hello everyone, it's Alessandra here. I hope you're having a good day. I definitely enjoyed my day so far because I went out for a walk. It's a beautiful sunny day, nice and crisp, but in the sun it's just so nice. I was sitting there and I was feeling the warmth coming through and it's vitamin D intake for the day, but it felt really good. So just resting in that space without thinking about anything. And so now I'm just going to do a short reading. But I also believe that nature is showing us a different cycle. It's showing us that life is in this moment and it doesn't necessarily have to be anything in particular. So every single moment is the perfect moment. And the perfect moment is whatever you're doing in that moment. And if you want something different in your life, then there's infinite possibilities available to you, available to all of us. We need to sort of shift the way we talk about our lives, yes, but also allow ourselves to sit in a space where we're really not doing anything, daydreaming, just being there, just being in that space in that moment and being aware of the space that you're in and letting go of all those thoughts. That chatterbox, it's on a different frequency and usually that's not a good frequency. So if that's what's going on, turn it off for a bit or tone it down as much as you can and just walk in nature if that's a possibility for you. But it's really important to understand that the chatterbox is not really on the right frequency. Okay, so on the flow of that, I'm just going to choose a card from my Ascended Masters cards, beautiful cards. And it's obviously a message, just one card. It doesn't have a particular sequence. I usually only pick one card when I use the Ascended Masters, and let's see what comes through. It's always a good message, I'm sure. I have to be careful because I'll drop them. Okay. Master Buddha. Oh, nice. Increased awareness. Well, it does fit with what I was saying. Interesting how they always turn up at the right time in the right way. So what is something in particular that Master Buddha, as we know the story did, was leave everything, the material side behind and leave the mind as well, because his contemplation was to travel the world but also stay in a meditative space, in the connection with the I am. So whether we know the story or not, it's inviting us now not to leave everything. Now you can make a choice and say, I'm going to drop everything. I'm just going to let everything go and I'm just going to go into the wilderness. That's a choice. But this can be done even in the midst of chaos, because what it's inviting you to do is increased awareness of who is within you, the inner being. So that presence within us that is always speaking to us, that's always guiding us, that's always giving us messages. But the way that we can hear it is by silencing the mind, by detaching from the noise on the outside, by detaching from the attachment that we have to possessions and certainty and all of those things that life has created for us. It's not that we can't have good things. It's the mistaken idea that when we are attached to the material, we become so busy that we're no longer listening to the inner being within us. Some people manage to do it and have a successful life. Other people's instead rumbling around, constantly following what the dictates of that critical mind and are never listening to instead the silence within, because that silence has a lot of messages for us and it will speak to us when we allow it. So Buddha learned something and he taught us something. He left behind all of his teachings so that we could tap into it and let go of that chatterbox mind, that gibberish that keeps going on and on and on and on and on. And have you noticed that even when you think you're in a quiet space, it keeps on chatter, 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 chatter. Well, there needs to be a concept in our own belief system that allows us to let that all go, to truly want to detach, to truly stay in that space of doing nothing, of sitting quietly and seeing, listening, sensing what else is there. You can sit under a tree, you can walk along the beach, you can sit on the sand, You can be in your own home in a space of silence, but when the chatterbox starts chattering or it doesn't really stop, you just ask it to leave or go into the background and allow the infinite possibilities that come when you increase the awareness of the inner being within you. And so the card today is inviting us to do just that. 5 minutes silence or breathing, and then see what happens. Another 5 minutes. First of all, it lowers the anxiety levels, takes away the tension, but it connects you with the Buddha within. It connects you with the concept that mind is a chatterbox. And then there is something else so much greater within all of us, that when we tap into that inner guiding system, then the silence is where we want to be, because that's where the messages come through. Now you can use prayers, but prayers are you speaking. And instead, we also need to use the meditation side of it, because that's when we are listening. And that's when we're getting the messages to our prayers. So both are valuable, but there is a part that distinguishes the two, because with one we give gratitude and we set our intentions. We speak to God, the universe, source, whatever it is. Buddha is inviting you instead to go into that space of silence with increased awareness of how it works and the fact that your guidance and the answers are coming through it. It's a very important card today, and I think that right now a lot of people are doing that. There's more awareness of how we are connected to everything. There's more awareness that what we're seeing on the outside, nature, well, we're part of it. We are creating our world. But there's infinite possibilities. Infinite. The sky is not the limit. The sky is just what we think is the limit. But there's so much more beyond it. And guess what? You can find everything within yourself. So going within, increasing your awareness of the inner presence, the inner guiding system, and maybe the messages you will receive will show you a world that is open to infinite possibilities, but that you also can rest in it and just enjoy life. Now, I hope this has helped you today. I think that also resonates with what I was feeling when I was outside, and just being in that space. It's just that silence, and sometimes you wonder why we can't be in silence, and why that chatterbox needs to continuously sort of chat. Well, we're allowing it. So it's up to us to make a decision today. 5 minutes, silence, and see what happens. You'd be surprised what comes through. You'd be surprised at how many visions and messages and feelings come through in that way. And maybe you'll realize that now you obviously can't be always in that space, but you want to go back. You want to go back because it feels good. And having said that, it's time for my meditation. So with this, I will leave you, and thank you till next time.